All right, there, YouTubers, going to bring you along on a trip through Valley Thrift Store in Ohio, near Dayton. I think Kettering, technically. It's a massive store with really good prices and usually pretty decent things. And I found something I'd kind of been looking for, but not really.
Sucker has never been used. $60. Big one never used. Just in case.
So maybe these pictures will just give some scale because this place really is massive and it has all kinds of stuff. And sometimes, honestly, the prices are just amazing, even though I've noticed a slight increase over the last year or so. But they help a really good cause, so that's awesome. Make you feel a little bit better while you're saving money. Here's a compilation of 3 trips. I do want to say, I'm probably going to do a ramble at the end. I won't bore you with it now. Maybe I'll even throw in the time that the ramble will start. But I tend now to shop pretty much at Amazon and the thrift store. So let's take a look. The pictures I just showed you at the thrift store I go to, it's a pretty awesome thrift store. This is a measuring cup bowl kind of thing for, again, I only go on the 25% day off. Other than that, I go when they have their 50% day off sale. So everything's going to be 25% less. And I'll do my best not to tell you that every time I look at something. But 25% off 29 cents. A light bulb. It was 69 cents. Which were $3. But they weren't $3, were they? They were 2 1/4. See, I'm already doing it, but I'm going to try to stop. The next thing is kind of weird that I don't think it's going to show up in the video very well. But as you've seen, I travel in the RV with cats. 69 cents. And what this is, there's no holes in it. There's nothing wrong with it. It is basically like a shower curtain plastic kind of thing, but it's not. It is for beds, so it has the corner things. And did I need to buy this? Is it going to do what I want it to do? Maybe not, but it was cheap. I've had 3 or 4 incidences where you come back to the RV after being gone for like all day, and a cat has gotten sick on the bed. Maybe, I can wad this up, and then before I leave for the day, I can stretch this out over the bed. Then I don't have to worry about, crap, now I have to change the sheets and do all that stuff and find a place to wash stuff if I need to do that. So that's what this attempt is for. And plastic stuff like this can always come in handy for multiple uses. I've showed before, these are really cheap. Candles can be expensive for some reason. I don't know why. But I got these candles for the purpose of making fire starters that I've shown how to make. Melt these down, sawdust, you're good to go to make a fire starter. Next we have this. And what are these for? This is the second thing I got like this. Again, not even 50 cents, because of the discount. But in my small class B, my problem often is trying to organize and trying to do stuff like that. So my idea for this was just keep things organized, because it might not always look like it in my RV videos, but I wouldn't call myself a neat freak, but I have tendencies, I guess. So I like to try to keep the RV organized and clean. Having 2 cats in there, there's a lot of people that I know couldn't possibly do it, and I used to be one of them. So stuff like this is what I do to try to keep what I like to assume might be a little bit of sanity left. These are car mats. I'll clean those up. They were 75 cents. And I can either use these outside for boots or in the back end of the RV to set things on. Baseball in America, being a great big huge baseball fan, I splurged a little bit on this. I guess it was $1.50, but sometimes you buy stuff that might not have the most need in the world, but that was something I wanted, so I got that. This was 75 cents. It goes back to that same idea. And it was clean. Obviously you go to a thrift store, you got to check everything really well. But collapsible box, and it goes back to trying to keep the RV organized, especially in a tiny RV, and probably even more so in a bigger RV. This kind of stuff comes in handy as a way to keep organized. And boom, it folds down to next to nothing. I stopped at Big Lots after this, and they had brand new ones of these, $5. I paid 75 cents. And again, if you look closely at your thrift store, you will find things that are clean and not disgusting. Don't buy the disgusting things that are dirty. Buy the clean stuff. And if your thrift store, if you're going to a thrift store that's not that cheap, that you realize this isn't that much better than buying something new, don't go to that thrift store. Don't waste your money. If you're saving yourself 5 or 10% by buying something that's used over buying something that's new, that's not a good deal. So there we go. It's the full-size NuWave oven, and it was $45. And it looks basically brand new to me. I will take this opportunity to talk about the NuWave oven. If you've watched any of my RV videos, you see that I use the Mini all the time. And honestly, it's my favorite kitchen gadget. I got lucky that I found a second one at the thrift store, and it works great. And I've taken it on a trip where I wasn't moving a lot, so I could actually have 2 of them. Well, this is the full-size one. This has the expanded ring and everything. $45 is pretty cheap. These brand new are $100, $120. You can find a lot of different prices on it. I saw on eBay $75 for this. Again, I paid $45. And to me, it looks brand new. So we'll look at it a little closer here. You can see the stuff looks like it's never come out of the packaging. A lot of things inside there are still in their original wrappers. I plugged it in and it works fine. I didn't bake anything in it at the store, but it works fine. So now I'm going to open it up. Okay, I got that part off. This is a pizza flipper, apparently. It's still in the bag, hasn't been used. Take the top off. Boom. In here, this is a rubberized tray. I'd have to read the directions. My Mini does not have that. Again, never been used. Cooking trays. All the books. Unopened. Uncrinkled. You hear that as I open it? It's still got that new sound. A quick sheet here. DVD. This is holds the lid. There's a little rack that holds the lid. Baking pan, apparently. Another rack, because this has the extender ring. I missed a little tape. And then this comes out as the other one, as the Mini does, to clean it. So we'll put it all together. So we put it all back together. If you watch my channel very much, you're probably not going to see this get used. I don't know. It might end up being a gift. I have family who has like a full-size grown-up RV, a Class A, and they might use this. I might give this to them. I just couldn't pass it up. I tried, I swear. It was in and out of my cart a bunch of times, but I finally just had to. I even saw a second one, and it was cheaper, but it didn't look like it was in as good a shape. Why do I like the NuWave? So I'll do a little quick ramble on that. A small Class B is not going to have a propane oven. So if you want to bake anything, you're not going to do it in a Class B. You're not going to have an oven. One of the main things that I love about these is you can cook from frozen. And there have been a lot of times where, I'm parked somewhere and I get back and it's late and I hadn't prepared anything to cook. Well, you can go from dead frozen and cook something in this and it comes out great. This probably wouldn't be good for me to use. Like I said, I'm most likely going to give it away. This probably wouldn't be good for me to keep because also if you've seen some of my cooking stuff, I tend to overeat sometimes. So the Mini, you can't get a lot of stuff in there and I still tend to eat a lot. If I had this full-size job, I'd probably get myself in trouble. I'd have an eating disorder or something. I think even if you have a full-size RV, if you have the space to carry something like this, whether you have a propane oven in there or not, there are so many benefits to these. First, you can use them outside, so you're not heating up your RV if it's already hot. Second, it uses electricity. If you're at a place where you've paid to camp and you have electricity, I say in videos all the time, why the hell would I burn my propane to cook dinner when I'm already paying for electricity and I can cook my dinner in that. It just makes financial sense to me. Just the hassle of paying for and sometimes finding to refill your propane, it just, I don't know, maybe it's me because I see people all the time that are in campgrounds and they're cooking in their oven or they're cooking on their propane stove. Why would you do that? Just get an even if you don't buy the induction cooktop, just get an electric burner, and you've saved, after one fill up of your propane tank, you know what I mean, you've made the money back that you spent on something like this. So that's why I think the NuWave ovens are great in the RV world. In your house, they cook so much faster. They do all the same things that if you're going to in an RV, and I would assume they're more economical than either your gas or electric stove. Don't quote me on that. I'm not. Again, I don't work for NuWave. I just own some of their products. I don't get any money for ever talking about NuWave. I mean, I bought this at a thrift store. I didn't get sent this by NuWave to tell you how great a deal it is. But anyone on the fence with these, I personally love mine. Now all three of them. Probably just going to be two. The only thing they give you that little sheet, and I've said in other videos, NuWave is very optimistic and aggressive on their cook times. Usually it takes a little bit longer than they claim. If you go to thrift stores a lot, keep an eye out for these, because I don't care what you say, that sucker looks like it's never been used to me. Either somebody got it as a gift and didn't want it or something like that, but you don't know how everything gets there. So now I'll do a ramble about thrift stores in general. A lot of time in my RV type videos, people ask about my finances, and I don't intend to be rude, but that's personal, and I'm not going to share a lot about my finances. But I will say, in the past, I had more money than I have now. When my life changed, I don't have that same kind of money now. And what I did is when I prepared to do this change of life, I started before I started. I started with my money before I started with my life. So if you want to work till you're really old to save up enough money so that you can live your life financially the exact same way I think by the time you've made that kind of money, you might not be able to walk up and down a flight of stairs. You know what I mean? You're going to miss out on a lot of stuff preparing to live a financially overly secure life. So what I personally did is I started living cheaper, saved up money, and I'm still doing okay that way. But I also decided, I don't want to go on and on about it, but I'm not a big Walmart fan, never have been. So most of the stuff I buy now, I buy from Amazon. And it does two things for me. It makes me think about what I'm going to buy. So I will put something in a cart and maybe leave it a day or two. I bought that GoPro stuff. Amazon was having the Cyber Monday sale, selling the cheap GoPros for $90. It took all of my fortitude to not buy a second one. Not to say it's so cheap I got to buy another one, but I stopped myself. Amazon helps me do that. It limits my impulse buys. And I go to the thrift store a lot of times because as a person who's grown up in this consumer-based society, you feel that need to buy stuff. So I go to the thrift store, try to save myself a little bit of money. I don't go to a thrift store where everything's nasty and dirty. I'm not going to buy that stuff. And I don't go to a thrift store. There's some chains that we all know, famous names, that really aren't saving you any money. I don't go to those places. Almost every time I've done a video on it, people are amazed at the prices, and the prices are awesome. So I go there oftentimes because of the RV with an idea on the back of my head of what I might find. And obviously it's a thrift store, it's a treasure hunt or whatever people want to call it, so you don't know what you're going to find. And I think I've found some awesome stuff to use in my RV that I've said before, if they work, fantastic. If it doesn't work out how I thought, if it's like a fail, well, usually I didn't hardly spend any money on it. If you've seen some of the stuff I found, I got that brand new propane grill from the thrift store that was identical to the one that I had that went bad. And I got it for next to nothing. It hadn't been used. I grew up, and then when I was old enough, as I said, I was doing pretty well financially. I was one of those people that turned my nose up at a thrift store that I'm not buying used people stuff. I have too much pride for that. Well, I obviously also had too much stupidity because there are times you go there where there is nasty stuff that I don't even want to touch, let alone buy. But then there's stuff that's brand new. This NuWave oven is brand new. If it was used 5 times, I'd be shocked. So I think if you search around, you throw your pride away. If you're burdened with a little bit too much pride, throw your pride away, and I think you can find some really great deals at a thrift store, at a good thrift store. So hopefully that helps. Also figured I would show you. That's what the NuWave oven looks like. It's an electric element, and there's a fan. That's how it works. They can try to make you think it's all fancy and the newest technology in the history of the world. Yeah, it's nothing new. There are people that have like constant yard and garage sales at their houses to make money. There's people that make a living, and you see those people shopping at this place to take to their house and resell. I've watched somebody load up their cart with 5 bread makers. Nobody's buying 5 bread makers. Somebody's selling 5 bread makers, you know. And if you find a place like that, then it's awesome. So in wrapping up this far too long of a ramble, the money aspect comes up a lot. I think a thrift store is honestly one of the better things you can do, because when you really stop and think about it, can you spend less to live more? And to me, the thrift store has helped do that kind of stuff. So happy thrift storing, if that's a thing, if that's what people call it. Happy RVing, happy cheap purchasing to live a happier, fuller life. So there we go. This video is finally going to be over. I hope some of you enjoyed. Think of saving your money to live your life. Have a great and a wonderful day. All right, so I'm going to plug it in. Look, the plastic is still over the keypad. Cook time, we'll do a minute. We'll do start. Hear that? And you can see that it works. Nothing here looks like it's been used. All these grates, they look almost scratch free. So in case you were wondering, does this thing actually work? It works. And the air is getting warm. And this is giving me an idea of something I might do in the future. Alright, just wanted to throw that in.